Have you ever just looked at someone and wondered, how do they do it? How do they bounce back from, well, everything life throws at them? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on resilience, and I'll show you that it's actually a skill, one that absolutely anyone can build. And this quote, this just nails it, doesn't it? It's not about luck. It's not about being born tough. It's really about having a specific set of psychological tools that help you adapt and even grow through the hard stuff. All right, first things first. What do we even mean when we say bend without breaking? Let's get into it. Okay, this is probably the single most important thing to get your head around. Resilience is not some fixed trait that you either have or you don't. It's a skill. Seriously, think of it like learning to play the guitar. It means you can practice it, you can develop it, and you can get stronger over time. I absolutely love this analogy because it makes the whole idea so much easier to grasp. So let's imagine we're putting a few different rubber bands to the test, shall we? This paints the picture perfectly, right? Under stress, some of us just snap. Others get stretched so far that they feel permanently warped, never quite the same. But real resilience? That's the third rubber band, the one that not only bounces back to its original shape, but somehow gets a little bit stronger from the strain. Now that is the goal. Okay, next up we have got to bust a major myth. There is this huge, really unhelpful idea out there about what it means to be a strong person. Before I show you, just take a second. When you picture a resilient person in your mind, what do you see? Is it someone who never shows weakness? Someone who's always got it all together? See, the myth is that resilience is all about suppression, just bottling things up, pushing through, and never letting anyone see you struggle. But honestly, that is a fast track to burnout. Real resilience is all about adaptability. It's about letting yourself feel those tough emotions, taking the time to process them, and then, and this is key, making a conscious choice to move forward. It's not about being unaffected, it's about being effective. So, what is going on inside the mind of someone who's truly resilient? Well, it really all comes down to a very specific kind of mindset. Research shows that people who are highly resilient tend to share three sort of fundamental beliefs. And these aren't just about thinking positive. No, these are core perspectives that literally shape how they see and react to the world around them. Let's break these down. First, this idea of an internal locus of control. It's the core belief that your actions matter. You can't control the storm, but you can absolutely steer the ship. Second is emotional regulation. This is huge. It's about acknowledging your feelings, saying, I feel angry instead of I am an angry person. See the difference? And third, that growth mindset. Seeing a challenge not as some huge personal failure, but just as a normal part of life, and maybe even an opportunity to learn something. Okay, so if that's the mindset, how in the world do we actually build it? This is the practical part. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to look at the real, actionable tools you can start using right away. Think of these as the 5 pillars of your resilience toolkit. Self-awareness is just knowing what your emotional triggers are. Cognitive reframing is all about learning to change the story you tell yourself about what's happening. We've already touched on emotional regulation. Support systems, you guys, this is so vital. Resilience is not a solo sport. And finally, meaning making. It's about finding some sense of purpose even in your struggles. And here's where it gets super real and doable. You don't need some massive life overhaul. Start with micro recoveries. I'm talking a minute of deep breaths, a quick walk around the block. Start to challenge that negative voice in your head. Build a simple, calming routine. Reach out to just one person. And please celebrate the small victories. Your brain actually needs that proof that you're capable. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. For a lot of people, resilience wasn't really a choice. It was a necessity, something forged in really difficult circumstances. I mean, think about it for a second. Anyone who had to navigate instability or major financial pressure or had heavy responsibilities way too early, they often developed this incredible resilience without even realizing it. They had to. It was purely a survival mechanism. And this might be the most empowering part of this whole conversation. If that's you, if that's your story, you already have the foundation. The key now is to consciously take those skills you learned just to get by and intentionally turn them into tools you can use to actively thrive. You're not just surviving anymore. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it all together with the one message that I really hope sticks with you.
If you take just one thing away today, please let it be this. Forget this idea that you have to be unbreakable, like you're made of steel. True strength, real strength, is in your flexibility. It's in your ability to adapt when things get chaotic and your capacity to stay grounded when the world feels unbelievably heavy.
And that brings us right here to the final thought. After everything we've looked at, the truth is, you are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with all that strength?